I spent the past couple hours looking for a couple of tools that I need. Now, in a day or two, as soon as I get all the parts, I need to pull the engine on my pickup and do the at least replace the rear crankshaft seal. Now, I've got the valve cover gaskets and the pan gasket ordered from Amazon. Now, once I figure out exactly which seal I need, I'll probably have a friend of mine take me over to either AutoZone or O'Reilly and get the exact seal that I need. Probably wait till I get all apart, then get oil filter and then the oil and stuff, and for when I put it back. But anyway, I need my engine stand, and I need my the hoist. Now I know where all the parts of the hoist are. Now the center boom, I keep it disassembled. Well, partially it keeps somebody from stealing it. Partially it doesn't stick out quite as much, and you can't really see it. But anyway, I know where all the parts are, to my engine hoist. The cylinder I kept off of it. I kept sitting inside this wooden storage. This wooden storage part of the roof has collapsed on it. I got to be very, very careful when I go in there. That I know that if the ceiling finally gives way, all the weight of the stuff on top of it would crush me. So I'm very, very careful when I go in there. I tell you what. Now my engine stand. Now I know where part of it's at. The centerpiece that holds the engine. When you're working on it, I can't find it. I'll probably go back in there once more and see if I can find it. If not, I think I can just roll the engine over and do the seal, with the engine just sitting on a piece of plywood. I can do it like that. Now there's one video that Vice Grip Garage guy did that when he did it, he said I don't recommend anybody ever do this, and I would never recommend anybody ever do this. Now he replaced a pan on an engine. He had it sitting up on an engine hoist. He got under it, suspended from an engine hoist, and I would never do that. I would never recommend anybody ever do that because if something breaks. Now there was actually a book that I bought many years ago. It was actually on rebuilding big block Fords. Like the big 390s, the big Y block Fords. But anyway, this guy had rented an engine hoist, and it had one bad weld on there. After when he was in the process of removing an engine, the weld had cracked and everything had fell with the engine on there. So yeah, I would never recommend anybody actually get under an engine with it up on a hoist. It's just not a very good idea. It is a good way to get hurt or killed if something does go wrong. But Derek had lucked out, when when he was under this engine, doing the pan. But something he trusted. Now let me show you what I have actually found in this. It was in this storage. Some of the stuff I knew I had. Some of the stuff I had forgotten that I had. Now let me start with this. It's an old analog voltmeter, an old Simpson. Now, a guy gave me this. This is probably actually worth a little bit. Now I need to clean this up a little bit. I'll probably do that next day or two. Just wipe it off a little bit. Now I need to dig it apart. Now I know there's a couple batteries in there. There's at least one for the old meter, and I don't know quite what else is in it. And I need to make sure that they're not leaking. Newer banana plug leads won't fit this. You need a different set of leads on there, and I need to see what I can either buy or modify to fit these if the meter is still good. It is probably is because these are pretty foolproof. Let me show you what I've got some software from my Coleco Adam. Let me get to that in a minute. Now we've got a old Polaroid bang camera. Now I don't think I've ever used this. I think a lady gave me this one. She wanted me to take some pictures of something, and somehow I never did. I think I still got the film, and I've seen film, from the Polaroid land cameras. Actually, Costco had some. They were expensive. The film cameras are a couple $100, and the film are $60 or $80 for like 6 or 8 shots. So these are not cheap. To buy or to use, and there's just not too many people using these anymore. Now I found this light. Now, I think this is the one I had bolted on the back of my Dodge pickup. Anyway, I thought about making a little bracket and put this on the back of my of my Chevy pickup. The one of the brake light bulbs is loose. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I thought about just wiring up a couple of these just above the on my ladder rack. I could do that pretty easy. Just bolt something in there, just wire it up to. Because sometimes that bulb will shake loose, and if I just wire something else in there, it would work instead of the original bulb. Just have that in addition to the bulb that's in there. Now Never. This is a shovel. One of those ones that extend out. One of those little emergency. There's a little camo bag at these. Used to be a place called Yellowfront that had stuff like this. That it's a little emergency shovel that you carry in the back of a vehicle to dig yourself out if you get stuck or something. That's kind of what that's made for. I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't remember ever buying or owning this, so I'm not sure quite why I have it. But it was in that storage shed, so I thought I would include that in this video. Now, there's a stove burner. It's brand new in the. Hang on. Made with a controller. There's a brand new. It's a brand new in the bag, but the bag is deteriorated. It's a plug-in, like an 8-inch electric stove burner. Now I've replaced these. I bought these for people to fix stoves. Now there's a game controller. Let me get this loose. There's a ColecoVision. It's caught in. Hang on. ColecoVision game controller. Now the ColecoVision and the ColecoAtom, all use a lot of the same stuff. The ColecoAtom was a full-blown computer. A good system back in the day. Now I had both a ColecoVision and a ColecoAtom. I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Let me show you what else. Let me get these. I've got some gold pans. This is full of crap. So, but this is a small gold pan. I've got 2 or 3 of these. I'm not very good at it. I haven't done enough of it to be good with a gold pan. At one time I was a member of the GPAA, the Gold Prospectors Associated of America. Now they've got claims throughout the U.S. They have some in Canada. I don't know quite how those work, but I think they're still in existence. I haven't checked them in a year or so, but if you're interested, you can go like gpaa.org or something, .org or .net or something. But if you search on here on the net, Gold Prospectors Association of America, I'm sure they'll come up. Now here's a classifier. This is a screen. I said, I've got a handful of stuff like this. I was going to build a dry washer, and another video I'll explain what a what a dry washer is and how you use them and stuff. But that's not in this video. Now let me get to some. This is ColecoAtom software. Now the original ColecoAtom, it came out it was a full-blown computer printer. Well, the printer came with its own power supply. The power supply was built into the printer. You get the original system was originally sold for about $800 because this was back in the early 1980s. But you remember, $800 would buy a lot more. You could buy a used car for $800. But anyway, they didn't sell, so they kicked them down to $300. I bought mine for about $300. It was actually a decent system. You used like a color TV as the actual monitor. And like I said, for the time, it was a decent computer because it came with all kinds of software. But the original storage were these modified cassette tapes. Well, a lot of guys would do, you could buy, the separate floppy drives. Now I've got a bunch of software, totally useless because I don't have a working ColecoAtom. I've got games, I've got software, on these floppy disks. And I thought sometime if somebody had a museum or if somebody had a working ColecoAtom, I just donate all my software. I have no idea what's good, what the weather's got to in these discs. So these might not even be readable anymore. They, if the disk is still good, all the information it may have been demagnetized. I have no idea. I have no idea if these disks are still good or not. Well, anyway, I've got a bunch of software like this. Now, back in the day, this guy would said what he would do. He would buy a game. On a floppy, on a 5.25 floppy, what he would do, he would find a blank disc of the same brand. He would just peel off the label and stick the label on another disc, on a blank disc, and go back and say, hey, this disc is blank. They'd check it, and they would just give him his money back. You do that very many times, and they're going to figure out what you're doing. And I never did anything like this. But I've got an OK Pro that I bought. I got like an auction about maybe 30 years ago. Gave like $10 for it. It'll power on, but I don't have any software for it, so I have no idea if it still works or not. Somebody wants an OK Pro. I don't know. I might take $50 or $75 for it, something like that. So somebody wants to put one in a museum. Now I've got a bunch of stuff that sometime I'll dig out and I'll just show what I've got. If somebody wants to make me a deal on it, I don't know what I'd ever do with it. If somebody wants to pay me kind of what I think it might be worth, I'd probably go for it. Let's see, what else I had covered. I've got all my stuff here. I've got my bed all dirty here because this stuff was out in the storage. It was all dirty. I need to shake out this mattress because I've got this all dirty here. But let's see what I still need to go out and find the rest of my engine stand. If I can't, like I said, I've got a method I can do that oil pan. I'm not going to do that today. There's a job that guy wants me to try to do today, and I'll probably after I eat, I'll probably call him and have him come over pick me up, and I'll probably go over and do that job. I'll get a video too if I go over and do that job. Okay, ciao. Everybody can deal.